Hello humanoids, welcome to Halfling Hobbies. I'm Halfling Hannah, and I have to start out by saying thank you all so much. I had the great pleasure of waking up this morning and realizing that the channel was at 1,000 subscribers. Now this is just the beginning, this was just our first goal, but you all made it possible, and I am so grateful that you have chosen to have me be a part of your lives, even if it's in a really small way, like a YouTube subscription, but really an honest and truly thank you so much. And today what we're going to do is we're going to look at Curse of Strahd, but we're not doing a deep dive into Curse of Strahd. We'll look at each one of the towns and stuff later, because I just personally started this campaign and absolutely love it, and thought, hey, why not do some content on Curse of Strahd? But today we are looking at big picture overall before you even buy this adventure. What do you, as the DM, need to know? These are the 5 things I wish I would have known before I even bought this adventure. So, here we go. Alright guys, I do want to tell you beforehand, because we reached 1,000 subscribers, we are doing a special Halfling house party. This is going to be a live event on YouTube where we are going to have a whole bunch of games that we play along with the chat. If you're a part of the Discord, we'll have some things in there going on, but I'm going to do a whole bunch of giveaways that you have to be there to win. So I really hope that you all can join. Stay tuned for a video specifically on the Halfling house party and when that is going to happen. So make sure that you subscribe if you haven't, so you get that notification on when the Halfling house party is going to be. I have some things that I've ordered that I'm waiting to come in before I give you the exact date on when we're going to do that. Alright, let's get into the video. Of course, here is your question, DMs, to leave down in the comments below. The question for you to answer is, what did you wish you knew before you started a pre-written adventure? This can be really anything. Even if you think that it's common knowledge, trust me, it probably isn't. So leave that down in the comments below to help out new DMs. I want these videos to be the best resource for new DMs out there. So make sure to leave those in the comments down below. Alright, so Curse of Strahd, what would I have liked to know before I even bought this adventure? 5 things. First one is that it is way more open world than I anticipated. So I was a homebrew DM. I created my own adventures. Most often I use campaign worlds like Eberron, but I created my own stories in them. So those stories are very obviously very open world. Players can go around wherever they want, do whatever they want, and the story just kind of follows them. I did not expect for Curse of Strahd to be just as open world. Now, granted, it is a smaller world, but that world is still very open. I expected there to be kind of this line. I expected a pre-written adventure to be very railroady, if I can use that word. Very straight, very, this is what you do, and then you do this, and then you do this. Some of them are that way. Looking at you, Descent into Avernus. But this one is very open. They can go to any of the towns in whatever order they want. There's lots of different things that happen that they can engage with that have nothing to do with Strahd. There's a lot packed into this adventure that was just way more open than I anticipated. To go along with that is point number 2. I wish someone would have told me that I need to read the entire book before I started DMing. So I had this picture in my mind, right? That it was going to be like chapters. And you read this chapter and this is what happens in this chapter. Your players, engage and do what they're supposed to do. And then you move on to the next chapter. So I was like, great, let's play Curse of Strahd Monday. I'm going to go pick it up from my local store on Saturday. Sunday should be enough time to prep for a pre-written adventure session. Wrong. You need to set aside enough time to read or at least skim through the entire thing, because you have no idea where your players are going to go. It's so open, and all of the stories and things kind of interlink in different ways, and so you as the DM need to be aware of how they all interlink and intersect so that you can give that information to your players. And the only way to do that is to simply read the entire thing. And that takes a while. I'm an English teacher. I read fast. Still took me an entire week to get through the entire module. So yes, I did have to end up pushing that game back a week before I had my first session, when I got into it and realized it is not, in fact, chapters. It is an entire story, and your players just kind of bloop, enter into it wherever they want. Let's see here, number 3. Fortunes don't really matter at first. So in Curse of Strahd, one of the things that at the very beginning they spend a lot of time going over are these fortunes that Madame Eva will read to the players that let them know the items and the people that they need to defeat Strahd. And it made it seem like that this was extremely important for your players to do first. That is not true. I've had some people in my Discord say that it took 14 sessions before the players actually made their way over to Madame Eva to get their fortunes, and then they didn't even care about them for another 10. In my case, it took 4 sessions for them to get there, and once they got them, I kind of realized that it didn't really matter at the start. They were nowhere near being able to actually face Strahd, let alone gather these things up in order to do so. So the fortunes are a cool part of this, and I'm going to do a whole little video on how to do the fortunes. They are a cool part of this, but they're not as essential right away as the campaign setting kind of makes it feel like they are. Number 4. There are lots of ways into Barovia, but no way out. So the beginning of this campaign gives you some options for getting your players into Barovia, and all of them, to be honest, are kind of lame. They kind of center around this idea that the Vestini just kind of come and bring them in, which is, how it works. And I got to thinking that, well, they could do that at any time in any way. So the adventure says if you're going to start them at level 1, then you bring them into Barovia and they go to the Death House. The Death House is super railroady and doesn't really fit with the open world feel that the entire rest of the campaign has. So honestly, I ditched it. Let me know in the comments down below if you really like Death House, but I didn't think it sounded all that interesting to start with, so I just ditched it and let my players level up to level 3. Death House is designed to take them from level 1 to level 3 so that then they can go about the world without immediately dying. A better way to do that, and a way that I would suggest, is start a campaign like normal. Completely normal campaign wherever you want, and let your players have normal level 1, 2, and 3 adventures. Let them build up that party bonding. Let them have some stories to tell, and then have the Vestini come in and bring them into Barovia. This is much more natural feeling. It doesn't feel as forced, and it doesn't feel as railroady as simply forcing them into the mist and then forcing them into this death house and then releasing them in this really weird and creepy world that now they're like, well, I've been railroaded the rest of this time. What am I supposed to do now? And have it be an open world that just doesn't seem to fit. I wish I would have known that, because I just had them start at level 3 and then used one of the pre-written ways to get them into Barovia, and they just really struggled with the idea of why they were here, why they were invited here. They hadn't done anything, so why would Strahd have any interest in them? So that would have been eliminated had I done level 1, 2, and 3 normally. Just a thought. Finally, number 5, something that I wish I would have known, was that there is so much to this story that has nothing to do with vampires. If you have looked at Curse of Strahd and went, yeah, I don't want to do that, just a vampire, that kind of seems lame, there's a lot more to this story than meets the eye. I mean, there are hags, there are werewolves, there's a crazy wizard in the mountains, there's a diva that's taken over a monastery for some really creepy crap, right? And I could go on and on. There's so much in this story that has nothing to do with Strahd. I mean, he's there, obviously. He's like the little god of this realm. But it has nothing to do with him. And it's really interesting and engaging, and there's lots of options for my players. And if I had known that beforehand, I could have used that in my characters, like creating their characters and their backstories and ways to link them into Barovia. That would have been way more interesting than what I did. So let me know, did I miss something? Was there something that you wish you would have known before you started Curse of Strahd, or really any pre-written adventure? Especially for brand new DMs or DMs who have only homebrewed forever. What do they need to know? Help us out in the comments down below. And until next time, my friends, may your game have advantage. Halfling Hannah here, signing out.